All right, Phish Stash. Gonna have to cut this one off because it's tricky. So right there, the intro, right? Starting with your pinky. Okay, so get that down. And then this tricky part. So get that down and then ha. Get that part down, right? Ah. Song is so tricky, man, and to break it up is nuts. But yeah, that little middle thing there, right? You know, so coming out of this walk down. And it starts back up to the thing, but see that walk down again? Chromatic, almost chromatic, but skips that note, right? And then this kind of goes through some stuff, but the same sections we've already gone through. Comes to the verses. Pulling the pavement from under my nails to press past the garden, depending on whales. A sloping companion, I cast down the ash, pulled down my tunic and dangled my stash. Slipping through the forest with the curdling sleeves, go with the spindles, the midnight seas. I captured the dread beast who falls from the tree. Who's on the horse asleep in the tree. That mid section was kind of the tricky compositional part, but just talk about those verse chords. I think the idea is he's doing a half diminished. He's got an E half diminished to an E full diminished to a D minor 7. But if you just want to stay on that half diminished, I think that's what TREY's doing. When I watch him play, it seems like he's just staying on that half diminished to that D minor 7th. But I'm hearing some undertones, like maybe with the keys or somewhere. Okay, and then that comes out of the into the sort of that melody. part. So then back to that. That whole section is wicked tough. It's hard to sort of play slow too, but you know, that stuff's nuts. That's like, the focus it requires to play that is really challenging, but it's doable, you know, and to play it sort of at speed, like with a band, you can sort of mess up and just push through. You know, you don't have to hit every note for note, but that's the idea behind it. That's real close, very close, I think, to what TREY is doing. There's some nuances in there that's maybe slightly off with some of the sliding, but I think it's really close. This is what's... Yeah, that's tough, man. It's tough to play. Playing with the band, you got some, you know, other sounds that kind of hide some stuff, but when it's just yourself without sort of a backing track or a metronome to sort of stay on time, it's really challenging, but it's doable. So if you have questions on any of those sections, and I can maybe dial in to them, I will be happy to do so. But hopefully you kind of get the ideas, maybe slow it down and try to figure that out. So yeah, that's pretty much most of the compositional stuff of the song. It goes through sort of the beginning thing again, and then comes to the second verse. When you shoot, you say, please don't do that. From cool smiles can't be bought. The soul of Gallic starts to rot. As if for this my life I sought. Maybe so and maybe not. that's right there, the jam chords, right? D minor 7th, so you can play a B flat major or a B flat dominant 7th. Both sound pretty nice. To a E half diminished to a E full diminished. What a rich, beautiful sounding chord progression, right? And then you're off to the races with the jam, which is a very fun jam. Really just like D minor works great, right? But you also hear that major 6 in there, so that would be considered the harmonic minor when you play the minor scale with that major 6 in there instead of the flatted 6. But both of them work, so it's like just include, you know, both the flatted 6 and the flatted 7th and the normal 7th. So I was off there. It's the harmonic minor has a major 7th in. So the flatted 7th and the major 7th sound really good. So that's what I'm thinking all day long, is just the D minor with sort of that major 7th in there when I want to throw it in. You know? I really would like a backing track to play, but trying to come up with melodic stuff without a backing track, you know, is really challenging. A great exercise to do. So like, there's that major 6 or major 7, major 7th, right? There's that major 7th, right? Like, I'm kind of guessing the major 7th almost sounds better than that flatted 7th, so if you want to leave that out too, you kind of can. But the flatted 7th has its place as well. And that's what I'm thinking. D minor all day long for that chord progression. And then if you want, you know, if you want to move around, you got this D minor to then it goes to like a B flat, right? But it wouldn't be that. It would probably be the B flat Dorian, right? Wait. Is that Dorian? No, that's, sorry, Lydian, right? Which is, you know, a unique sounding take over this. Because I just want to resolve on that D. But if you want to jump with the chords, right? And then to like E diminished. Back to like a D minor sort of thing, like that E diminished or E half diminished. What would that be? You know, right there. For me, it's challenging to sort of think of chord by chord, and like if the key isn't changing, I usually don't take that approach, though I'll sort of have it in my pocket if I want to sort of hang around certain arpeggios and stuff, but I'm just straightforward thinking what sounds like home, what key sounds like home. And to me, that's this D minor. And then just knowing I can throw in that flatted seventh, or I mean throw in the major seventh, is what I'm thinking all up and down the neck. I'm kind of just listening for that. Oh, I just noticed that the raised fourth or flatted five sounds pretty nice too, right? 1, 2, flatted 3, 4, that raised 4 or flatted 5 to that 5. So it's like almost all of those notes. There's a lot of notes you can sort of play, right? There's that flatted 5. So yeah, there's a lot you can kind of do with that, but I'm thinking D minor, and then yeah, you can add that raised 4, flatted 5th, or the major 7th sort of in there for some tonal, taste. And I think that's a pretty good approach to it. And then moving chord to chord is kind of tricky. Half diminished scale, which I don't even know what that is. I should know. Half diminished would have I should really practice those diminished scales. They're great to know, great to throw in if you know them. Half diminished, full diminished, and all that stuff helps, especially if you start playing jazz. You really want to kind of know that stuff. But for this, pretty straightforward, just staying in that. Just hearing it all the way up the neck. If you hit a wrong note, it's usually just off a half or a whole step. So just kind of pivot. I mean, it's usually just off a half step, right? So I hear that, I'm like, no, that ain't right. Like that sounds pretty good. 20 minutes in. That's my best take on Phish's Stash. What a tricky song. Thanks for watching these. Hopefully this helps. I don't know, you know, it's a tricky one. There's some good ones out there, I think, that show the tablature and stuff. But yeah, hopefully you get something out of it. Thanks for watching my videos. I appreciate you all commenting, and I appreciate you too when you come out to the shows and you come up and you say, hey, I watch your videos, it helped me with stuff. That means the world to me. So thanks, y'all. Be well.